Hi everybody, it's Lene with Bloom Feather Studio, and I thought today it'd be fun to do a flower to go with the bird tutorial that we did last week. So I have here kind of a fiery, abstract flower that is a little bit more defined the way the bird is. So I have a few other examples here. You can do like a really pared back version of it, like that, or like one with a little bit more atmosphere. And this one's not great, but has like a dry brush. I used a really dry brush on the darker petals. And then this one's my favorite. I love this one. This one's like really fiery looking, and it would go really well with this bird. It is has more atmosphere kind of, but a few defined petals, and then the inside is really bright, fiery yellow. Okay, so we're gonna try and do something like that today. For brushes, you can use any kind of more defined brush. So for instance, I have a couple of brushes here. I'm gonna take this guy off. I have a couple of brushes here. I have a flat brush. This is a Princeton Snap flat, number 6, and it's really long. I like it because it's long. And then I have a Winsor Newton. I love this brush. Winsor Newton number 8 round brush. And it really, here, let me get a piece of paper here. It really has a more defined look when you make a stroke. So I'll show you here. Kind of even more like a filbert brush. It's just really rounded at the end. It doesn't have a point on it. I love this brush. So I'm going to use this a lot for this flower. And of course you could use a filbert brush. You could use like something that's going to hold more water, but something like this if you wanted to. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you this other really kind of cool brush that I found I think I found this at Michael's. It's called a deerfoot brush, and it's like a kind of pouncy brush is what I call it. And it's fun to use for the insides of flowers. So it's Princeton Select, 1/4 inch. If you found a bigger one, that'd be cool too. So like for instance, on this flower, that's what I use for the texture on the inside of the flower. But you don't have to use this. You don't have it. Okay, so here's the colors I'm going to be using. I've got quinacridone magenta, my favorite color. And we used this on the bird last week, so we'll go ahead and use that. Of course, some more lemon yellow, hooker's green. I'm almost out of that. I need to get some more. Oh, this is hooker's green light, but that's okay. You can just use whatever green you have that you really like. And then this was the first watercolor set that I bought. It was Reeves, so it's not expensive. It's really kind of cheap watercolor, and I wouldn't recommend it, but I love this color. Now it doesn't look pretty at all on its own. It's called Flesh Tint. But when you mix it, I'll show you, when you mix it with a magenta, it's very beautiful. So let me show you. So here's the color here. Let me get the solid color. So we've got like just this still has a little bit of pink to it, I think, in my brush. It's not a pretty color, but if you mix it with magenta, it makes this really soft blush color. So I really like it. See that? All right. Okay, so I'm going to start out with kind of some background atmosphere for the flower. So I'm going to start just kind of making curved brush strokes with the blush color. So it's just see how different it is from, this is the magenta, and then I added some flesh color in there, and it makes like a really pretty blush. So that's what I'm doing first. I'm just gonna curve around, make some strokes, really lightly, kind of making some atmospheric petals. Okay, I'm gonna make one that kind of goes down this way. Of course, they all need to kind of connect here at the bottom. Okay. And if you're not happy with something, you can always take a paper towel and just kind of dab it out. So I'm gonna get rid of this right here. I didn't like that so well. Okay. Now I'm gonna make another one. Well, this is kind of, actually, I'm gonna add more water to it. So just plain water coming in here. And then I'm gonna let it sit for a moment. And then I'm gonna go over to the other side and do another one. So we'll do a few of these in different ways. So just add some water, a little bit of color in here. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this first one. I'm gonna grab some pretty strong magenta. So, and I'm just gonna add some strokes here. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with my deerfoot brush and some lemon yellow, pretty strong lemon yellow. So put some color in the middle here and let it bleed everywhere. Okay. Go to this one, do the same thing. Now for this flower, I'm gonna use this brush here. I'm gonna add some magenta strokes to it, but get a little bit of that blush color, a little stronger than before. Okay, so for this brush, I like to use it, you can use it many different ways. So if you have a flat brush, you can use it on its side, right? Like that. You can really push down and make a strong kind of flat stroke like that. Or you can be more defined like this. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this brush, add some magenta to it, come in here, and add some strokes. Okay, maybe here. So now I'm getting a little bit more of a dry brush. Let's see. Some really strong strokes in the middle, front. Okay. Okay, I'm going to come back to the other flower here. I've got my number 8 rounds. I'm going to add some more here. Okay. Now with my round brush, I'm going to get some green paint. Nice and intense. I'll show you. Now, I don't like hooker's green that well on its own. I like to add a little bit of magenta to it to tone it down. And that's very gray. So I could do like a really gray green. Maybe I'll do that for this one. So I just going on the side of my brush, I'm holding my brush sideways, just adding that, and maybe I'll add a little yellow to that, just for fun. Bring it up into the flower a little bit. Okay. If you want to add a stem, you can. Nice curved stem. Okay, and then on this side, make like a brighter green color. Right up in here, so I'm using my brush sideways, pulling it down. Putting some green up into the flower a little bit. Okay. Add a little yellow to the other side. Okay. All right, so now I think I'm gonna wait for this to dry and see what it looks like and add some more defined petals a little bit later. Okay, I just waited a few minutes. It's still a bit damp, so I'm gonna continue playing around with it a little bit. I'm gonna grab some intense magenta, this brush, and I'm just gonna add some strokes at the top of this, going different directions. Always want your, most of the time you want your strokes to come towards the middle, to the base of the flower. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's good. And then I'm gonna grab my deerfoot again, and there it is, and add a few more yellow strokes to this, or pounces. Okay, and you can even go in and add some magenta to it as well if you want to, or even green. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there. Oh, I don't like that so well. Okay, and then for this other side, I'm gonna grab this brush here again, the flat brush, and add some more defined strokes to it. Let's see. Okay. So I thought maybe I could do a third one that's super pared back. So with that one, I'm going to start with just the blush color, and I'm just going to use the flat brush. Remember, you can use any kind of more defined brush that you want. So I'm going to do, I'll turn this a little bit. I'm going to do just some strokes. Pretty dry. Okay. One going down here. There. Okay. Now with the filbert brush, or sorry, the deerfoot brush, I'm going to add some yellow to the middle. Swirl it around kind of. You can also kind of pull this deerfoot brush so that it has like more of a spiky look to it. Okay, and then come back with the flat brush. Get an intense amount of magenta and come in, add a few strokes of dark color. Like that. If you wanted to, later on, you could come in with, or even right now, you come in with a little bit of blush color and your regular round brush and make sure it's not too damp, and add some atmosphere if you want, like this. Okay. Put a little green at the base. Like that. Okay. So sometimes I paint these and then I let them dry. I walk away, maybe even sometimes the next day I come back and I go, oh, it needs a few more strokes, so I'll add more strokes. Sometimes it's fun to add white. If you have any white gouache or, you know, Chinese white or whatever, bleed proof white, pen white, you know, Dr. P.H. Martin's pen white, you can add, if you want to, you can do the same thing where you add a few strokes of white to it. I'm not going to do that today, but I have done that in the past and it's kind of fun. It adds even more dimension to it. All right. Let me know what you guys think. I am on Instagram at Bloom Feather Studio. I just wanted to say thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed and hit the like button. It means a lot. I'm just starting out, so I'm not sure what you guys want to see. And so if you could go to my Instagram and you can comment on any of my pictures and let me know what kind of tutorials you would like to see. If you see a picture on there and you want to have a tutorial, just let me know in the comments, or you can comment on the YouTube as well. All right. Have a great week, and I will be back next week with a new tutorial. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.